Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm so happy to have you. So my previous subscribers, welcome back to the channel. So for today's video in particular, we're going to be talking about and discussing the possibility of a government shutdown, and even better yet, the Epstein file House vote that they're supposedly going to vote on whether or not they are going to release the Epstein file publicly. We're going to take a look at that in today's video. This video is going to be very short. So to keep that in mind as well, I am on a little bit of a time crunch here. I'm going to try my best to get as many videos out as possible over the next coming days. So if you have any video recommendations, put them in the description in the comment section below. This video is just for entertainment and educational purposes only as well. These two videos being recorded on Friday, September 26th at 1:26 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as I'm recording this. And if you want to help out the channel grow, you can do so by liking, commenting, subscribing, hitting the bell icon, and engaging with the content. Sharing this video with others really help boost the algorithm here on this YouTube channel. And if you want to stay in the loop and be notified when I do post and upload, go to the comment section or the description below and follow my Blue Sky account and my Facebook group, and I will personally notify you when I do post and upload next. Alright guys, let's go on. Let's get on with this. We have a lot to get through in today's video. I hate long intros, so do you. Okay, so let's take a look at the possibility of a government shutdown. Now, if you want to watch my other governmental shutdown videos, I'll put them in the link and in the description below. Now, you're probably wondering why this specific government shutdown very interesting. Well, if you think about it, it also occurs around the point of the Epstein file possible vote going to the House floor. If they can somehow delay it, they will. They could use this to their benefit. But also, the Republican controlled the U.S. Congress and the U.S. Senate and the White House. So the fact that the government is going under shutdown when they are the ones in control is very significant in itself. It means that they are unable to govern the way that they told people they would. Alright, so Spirit Angels tell me, is the United States over the next coming weeks going to experience a government shutdown? Is the United States over the next coming days and weeks is going to experience a government shutdown? Is the United States going to experience a government shutdown? Okay, so they told me to take these cards and they're saying that's all we need. Top of the deck, we have here the Chariot. In reverse, it means slow moving, so slow moving Congress and Senate. You can see here Senator Bernie Sanders and Warren, and then Congressman Tulsi Gabbard, or former congressman. So it means that the fact that this is reversed is telling me that there is some issues, underlying issues within both the House and the Congress in terms of agreement. Under here as well, we have the Eight of Swords. This occurred right after an assassination or an attack, specifically on a Pacific political ally. We have the Eight of Swords reversed. So this is part of the story, if you will. It's part of the government shutdown. It's part of the Epstein file. The top of the deck here, we have the rule of law in reverse, the High Priestess in reverse. I'm feeling like the way the government shutdown is shut down is, if, just say, for example, a shutdown, right? It's not going to follow the same protocol as past governmental shutdown. There's something different about this if it does indeed shut down. However, the High Priestess in reverse is also indicating that if somehow the government doesn't shut down, things change. Something changed within the timeline. Something is not the same anymore. This is the High Priestess in reverse. The bottom of the deck, we have the Hanged Man reverse, and the Hanged Man reverse is very telling. It said illumination, something come to the surface that was hanging upside down, so somebody gets a rest, or something entered the period of a rest state. Okay, so we have here as well as we have the Devil card. The Devil card when we're asking whether or not the United States is going to shut down its government. Here we have with the Devil, restrictions. It's all about taming and making sure that the oppressor is the one who's doing the oppression, not those who think that they can go rogue against the oppressor. So this is what the Devil card is indicating to me. We also have here as well as we have the Queen of Wands reversed. the woman person, the person who was supposed to be a woman in the White House, is not in power. Right? Liberty is not in power. The Queen of Wands reversed is indicating this is not of spirituality. So if they use this as the formation of spirituality or something along the lines of religion, the Queen of Wands is saying that do not trust it because the morals are impure. So what does this mean? This tells us also, because it has to do with some sort of religion, it also has to do with pedophilia and the Epstein files and this type of idea. So again, the devil here is to make sure that those don't go rogue against the oppressor, right? So for example, this is basically asking, okay, so is there a possibility of a government shutdown? It's saying that whatever benefits the oppressor, not those who are the oppressed who go rogue. Whatever is in the benefit of the oppressor. If shutting down the government is beneficial, then they will shut the government down. But if keeping the government open beneficial to the oppressor, then they will keep the government open. And the Queen of Wands here, justification, hiding behind a religion, if you will, or hiding behind a big type of faith or evidence or false information. Because we have here, as well as we have the Nine of Pentacles. The little birdie told me. The little birdie told me. And here is the Nine of Pentacles. This is money. Oh, don't worry, we're going to get the money that we need anyway. So even if the government shutdown happens, whatever they're fighting over right now is going to still be in the hands of the oppressor. The oppressor is going to get the money regardless. As how he does it, that might change the game. So again, what is this indicating? It's a very weird setup for a type of governmental shutdown reading, because normally I always get either the government shutting down, the government's not shutting down. But in this instance, it's just saying whatever benefits the oppressors. Whoever is the one in control is the one who's going to sway whether something gets shut down or not. But either way, if that's the case, then just say, for example, this is Donald Trump and he is the oppressor, he won't be the one injured by this because it's just a political chess move. Underneath the devil card here, reversed, we have the Ace of Coins. Now this tells me something with digital. Something's going on with digital here, and it's reversed. Something digital, and this is the Two of Cups. This is unification, reverse unification. I feel like if just say the government does shut down, it does feel like there's either going to be a restriction on news or they're not going to be report about it. You won't even know about half the thing that's going on. There's a digital decrease. This is a distraction on a digital platform. So what does this mean? It means that governmental shutdown, or just talked of it, is trying to be used as a distraction, not only against the Epstein file, what appears to come in the reading through the Queen of Wands reversed, but also, it's also saying the oppression through social media, which means censorship, surveillance. This is going to be heightened during this time period. Because underneath the Queen of Wands reverse, you have the religion, hiding behind religion, using it as a justification, and better yet, trying to uncover some of the past while also hiding it. Here you have it, the Five of Cups, and this is kind of giving me the J.D. Vance vibes. Right? He's just drinking and drinking and drinking, like any minute. So J.D. Vance is just biding his time here, and here you have his Capricorn, War. What does this mean? It means that the governmental, the governmental shutdown is not only indicating what we are already aware of, but it's the fact that it's an act of war. This is a threat. This is a message, right? When somebody puts their battlefield in your shores, along your beaches, it's a threat. It's a message that they're planning to invade or they're planning to take back what's theirs. So the fact that this falls underneath the Queen of Wands reversed, and we're talking about here the Epstein files and stuff like that, it's indicating that this is a war and an attack to prevent the disclosure of certain information or classified information you don't want to reveal. And here you have is the Nine of Pentacles, which is they're going to get the money anyway, so this is more like a theater, if anything. It's not really genuine. But here you have is the Three of Coins. And the Three of Coins is, this is America. America thinks that, they got what they wanted. After a while, the distraction goes away, and America starts to make the right turn. Here you have is them putting money here. Good job. That's essentially what he's saying. Good job. You did an amazing job, whatnot. And here you have this person walking away. So what does this mean? It means that this is theater. Whatever happened now It's just a political ploy to distract Americans from something else while they do something else entirely. And the Three of Coins is the government shutdown. They're not really fighting over money. It doesn't appear to be that way. It doesn't feel that way. Right? Because under here, again, it has to do with the release. It means it's sending a message of war, a message that we're going to fight this tooth and nail. And here you have is the devil, the oppressor, the blackmail, right? And here you have is the Ace of Coins reversed and the Two of Cups, which means high surveillance, or even better yet, a manipulation of a social media platform. So what does this tell us? This tells us that in order to control the narrative going forward, you must install a surveillance spyware in order to control the rest of the story. So no, I don't think, this has anything to do with money. Nothing to do with money. That's why it's very bizarre that a country that is solely dominated by one political party is experiencing its own governmental shutdown is a political ploy. Okay. If, just say hypothetically, the vote of the Epstein files was to hit the House floor, how would congressmen and U.S. senators vote on the matter? How would congressmen and senators vote on the matter if the Epstein file vote were to hit the House floor? We have a story here. We have a celebration of Three of Cups, right? Defeating pedophilia, at least that's how it appears to be. We have the King of Pentacles. This is money. This is the king. This is the oppression. This is influence. This is the president, right? This is why it comes in right after, because we have here, oh, it's a great thing. You know, people are celebrating. Oh, we're going to finally get the information. But then here you have is influence coming in. And here you have, as well as followed by the Knight of Wands, making sure those who are supposedly loyal to the president stay loyal to the president via the influence. We also have here, as well as making sure they do not backstab or betray the president. This means that this is a test of loyalty, which is the Ten of Swords reversed. Followed by the Knight of Cups, which means a proposal, right? Moving forward with a proposal for the rule of law or justice, which is the Queen of Swords, right? The Justice card. This is going to be led by the Democrats. So the Democrats are going to propose this vote with the reverse Four of Cups, which tells me here that things are not going to go as they seem, but the public are going to be very openly supportive of this, but Congress is not. We also have here, as well as underneath the King of Pentacles, what's going on with Donald Trump. This is going to weaken him. This is why the Strength card is reversed, because remember, it talks about influence and power. So even though he's going to try to imitate and force people to vote towards the loyalty of his party and loyalty to him, this is the Strength card in reverse. He doesn't have the cards. The cards are not on his side. But we also have here, as well as we have the Page of Cups, and the Page of Cups means wishful thinking. And so, wishful thinking to assume that possibly there might be some hidden Republican that might go rogue and vote in favor of this Epstein file. Because, again, the Epstein is so openly supported by the American people to be public that if any congressmen vote against it, there'll be either way. They get primaried by Donald Trump by voting against Donald Trump, or they get primaried by another person within their own congressional district. So they look at the optics, they look at the odds, and they say, hey, listen, I can get elected with more people if they see that I voted against the Epstein file than if I chose to protect them. And here you have it, the Ten of Swords reversed. We have trouble for the nation. So a lot of these people who I just mentioned are going to go through a lot of the trouble, but they're going to find smoother, calmer waters. They might be able to find a way out to actually say, hey, listen, I can be part of this resistance. I don't have to be supportive of this government or this governmental style. So I do feel like if the House vote does decide to come and hit the floor, people will feel emboldened, specifically congressmen and senators will feel more emboldened to act as a resistance to the president, saying, hey, listen, there's a vulnerability here. There's a true vulnerability, and we can exploit that. And underneath the Knight of Cups reversed, you have the government. A proposal from the government, so a governmental party trying to put forth a proposal. Now remember, this is the proposal. This is the Knight, the Queen of Swords, which tells us this is the rule of law, right? Justice. But because the government is here underneath the Knight of Cups, and the government is offering a proposal, a counter offer to prevent the vote-in. The question that I want to know is, what does that entail? We have the Sun card, exposure. So they don't want the exposure to be released publicly. Why? Well, because we have the Chariot card in reverse. Because it does more damage than it does good. And here you have it, the Moon. So they prefer it to be hidden. Okay, so we're going to ask the cards one more thing. I want to know if there's anything else that we need to know about this. So again, it doesn't really answer the question overall. That will it shut down? It depends on whoever benefits at the top, whoever is benefiting at the oppressor. But it could easily backfire as well. Alright, so Spirit Angels, tell me, is there anything else you'd like to add to this topic or matter that we need to talk about with my subscribers? They're saying to wake up. Because here you have the Ten of Wands here. The Ten of Wands means there's a pushback, there's a resistance, there is something that is struggling to get towards a specific goal or to experience some form of progress. This is the Ten of Wands here. The Ten of Wands is that wall that was distant. And here's followed by the Seven of Swords, which means you always have to check your back, but somebody else is doing the cheating, someone else is stealing. But sometimes what it's saying here, you need to learn to not only take, but you also need to learn to give. And why is that important? It's important because it's followed by the Ten of Wands here, which tells me there's information here that the Democrats here, let's say you're a Democrat, you need to be able to fight and be able to play the same game as the Republicans. You need to get down, you need to get dirty. Because they're saying essentially here is that the Republican will continue to dominate as long as the Democrats keep their hands clean. Because in a way, if you keep allowing your hand to get clean, you're never going to actually ever have some sort of progress, ever sort of movement. Because you need to be able to have a very highly loyal base that comes out and votes in excitement. The problem with the Democrats here is that they don't have that. They don't have the ability to excite their base and to be able to get it out in drove. This talks about excitement, that we need to play the same game. Yeah, it may not be the best game to play, but if you want to have a shot at saving the country, you need to play by their rules. You need to be able to create the game and be a couple steps ahead. And here you have it, the Two of Cups. You have a real opportunity to win the 2026 midterm. You have a real opportunity. The question that we asked is, do you have the ability, do you have the capability to get down and get dirty and actually fight the same way Republicans are fighting? And if you can't even do that, then it's already a loss. And here you have the Hangman reverse. The Hangman reverse is simply signaling that this is not an assassination in terms of a political party dominance, but this is a revival. If you could bring this and you can bring people to the polls and to vote, you can have a real chance at fixing things. You have a real chance at changing things. But this is all speculative. This is not rooted in reality. We don't know how they're going to govern. We don't know how they're going to put forth their messaging. But this is what Spirit said. If any Democrat who is, on the campaign trail or a leader of the party of the DNC, if you want a real shot, this is what Spirit says you have to do. Because if you don't, you're going to lose it. And it's going to be your fault. Because you will cost the country everything. Not the Republicans. The Republicans told us what they were going to do, what they planned to do. They were openly honest with that. But you also need to step up to the plate and be honest with the American people and tell them what your goal is, what your plan is, how you plan to approach things. Get people engaged. Make that canvassing effort. Don't just say, oh, well, we know we're going to win the popular vote. The popular vote does not matter when it comes to voting in the midterms or even in the U.S. election. You need to win the game. You need to play the game by the rules. Play the game so you can win. But if you don't, you're going to lose. And that's why these cards are here. We have here, as well as we have the King of Swords reversed. The King of Swords means the incumbent. You have a real shot to remove the incumbent from power, right? And you could have all that you want. You can create what you want. You can withhold the budget. You can use the form of money to basically prevent the U.S. government from moving and doing anything, to shut it down. So what it is saying, one of the great tools of Congress is that they can use soft secession as a form of, acting as a resistance against the current administration. So what is it saying to us? It's saying that if the House leadership and the Senate leadership for the Democratic Party was to put forth a plan to say, hey, listen, if you vote for us, and this is what we're going to do, and we're also going to use the budget, the purchase power of the U.S. Congress against the sitting president, and we're going to restrict or stop the flow of money, we can influence certain outcomes. Yeah, we may not have the power with the amount of seats, but we might have the ability to do it with the money. And the money is what follows and creates all the problems that we have now. If you can stop the money where it's at, the root of all problems, you can control everything else. That is where the Democrats really need to target. They need to say, hey, listen, we have power within the Congress. If you give us the House, we can stop some of this. We can withhold funding. We can shut the government down. Because when the government shut down, guess what? Donald Trump, all his administration, all his departments, they can't do anything. They don't have the money. People are not going to work for free because these are not volunteers. They're not going to do the work for free. They might do it for maybe a week, 2 weeks, but then when life starts to kick in, you have to pay rent, you have to pay insurance, you have to pay for car insurance, all these different things. Reality sets in and it's going to injure the government. So essentially, what is it that the spirit is saying for the Democrats to do? Is to use money as a form of influence. Stop and shut down the government. During the entirety of Donald Trump's second half of his second term, you could be able to alter policy by simply just halting the government to a complete, utter halt. That is what the spirit says here. The bottom of the deck here is the moon. The moon, so hidden. And what's on the top of the deck here? We have the Ace of Cups. You can have support if you shoot the seeker. You can have support. You just got to get the messaging right. You got to be openly honest and say, hey, listen, guys, we're going to play by their rules, play by their game. We're going to be a couple steps ahead, but we're going to play by their game. No more playing simple politics. It's going to cost you every election because you will lose the next one and you will lose the one after that if you continue to play by the context of the old rule system. This is a new board game. Either you modernize to it, you read the rules and play by those rules, or you continue to lose and hammer support to the point that you could become irrelevant, to the point where there is no true democratic election in the United States. Alright guys, this video is just for entertainment, for educational purposes only as well. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell icon. I'll see you all next time. Until then, peace out. I love you.